Thanks for being with me this late night. Something just happened in the international oil market. As you may see here, the Western Texas Index or the American oil just dropped down to minus 10 or 15 minus today and is now stabilizing on $2. That is just two right now in the it's evening in USA right now, and that is the current trading amount, while Brent or North Sea oil is stable at $26 out June. And the Japanese oil price is also falling a bit. You just see a boosting change of 100%. Yeah, now first and foremost is that the oil industry is over, and to that point, I mean, we may be in a 10-year cycle where a lot of renewable will be taking over for traditional fossil production, but let's just differentiate between American oil and Saudi and from market to market. Brent or the crude oil will stabilize within 6 to 8 months, if not then out in 1Q 2021. And WTI, can also take more time, but I also assume that we will see some major improvements just in 3-4 months after the summer. American oil dealers and oil production companies may think that inter-supply between countries could be an option, and we know that Latin America would have a vast need for petroleum products. So a solution, an immediate solution where I see is that South America, Brazil, Mexico, etc. Much of that supply. Otherwise, when it comes to some issues there as well, but most oil companies during these years until 2025 will be able to handle oil prices down to $20 or $25. Additionally, find more investors, have other joint ventures, joint investment projects, joint industry projects, and circulate more in the economy, and also have an additional circular attitude towards E&P production companies, oil investors, etc., where if people want to sell and leave, then they do that, and then new entrants come. So I'll try to not analyze, but give some more advice on these issues. The third aspect would be that a market shift, a global investment shift, will find place now. Typical oil production companies will be left out for some time or for some reason, and while we'll also see that um, Arabs, Asians, it could be Africans, anyone interested in the oil business can easier make investments. Typically, also that we've been in this market for at least 20 years, and we need also a rotation of investors where while people are leaving the market, getting old and all that, new age of investors would can also save the oil industry in some respect with their means and the interest of buying shares and companies. Um, and the fourth aspect uh, beyond that would be that um, the way the markets are changing now, the industries, um, the oil industry will get much more technical, not more expensive, but more cheaper and more technical. Um, Oil companies right now are pushing forward new strategies on renewable power and wind. Uh, Anything else from traditional oil production, and that will also help the technical industries for sure. While that within 5 years, um, mergers and acquisitions, both in the tech and oil sector, would find place, and within 10 years until or before 2030, companies will not be oil companies, but technical companies or renewable or green or whatever you will call them. Oh, there is a oil price war between Russia and America, but that is not the entire truth, because the supply eventually decides what you can do with the war or the warfare. I mean, certainly there are. It's like a biological warfare now. We have this pandemic right now because we can at least be in a position that where we can justify the faults right now, and because 40 50,000 aircrafts are grounded, hundreds of thousands of trucks and buses are millions of cars and vehicles are not driving that much during lockdown or slowdown. Is that we always have bankruptcies, but all bankruptcies are not bad or negative. There are good and bad. So sometimes it's right to have some bankruptcies and get rid of problems and start on. That's